All right. Well, hello, beautiful people. We are here for our last Zoom session to peer review the SCIP one and the CAP one. This shouldn't take that long. Who would like to go first?
I'll go
Okay.
first.
Oh, go ahead, Catherine.
I'm first. I always go
Yeah,
last.
ladies first. Ladies first.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, you call me a lady. Oh, that's awesome. So, am I doing the skip and the cap back to back?
We
Am I
can.
doing all the skips and then all the caps?
No, we can
Mhm.
skip it, cap it, move on.
Okay, skip, cap, go on. Okay, I'll do the skip one, and I did Chris for both of them. Okay, so going down the list for content, I said your task is aligned with the content for the skip one task. It's met all required aspects. All external sources supported your content, and I said all statements were supported with data and presented in an organized, straightforward way. You very much just bam, 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 unlike me. So I appreciate that. Sorry, Danielle. For rubric strength, I said you followed the language of the rubric exactly, breaking down sections into all required areas. It was really easy to follow. The candidate not only provided detailed information, but discussed it in the narrative to further reader thought. So you didn't just say something and moved on. You actually talked about it enough to where I could follow it and understand. I actually kind of stole some ideas. I'm like, I'm going to use that next year. And then I said rubric weaknesses. I don't think I found any. I didn't. I said the candidate was straightforward and generic in their answers in a way that did not allow for weaknesses. I couldn't find any. I looked for them and I couldn't. Sorry. For leadership, I put that you led the team, you took initiative in collecting the data, and you actually planned with your principal. So you were right up there with leadership with your admin team. Mechanics and grammar, I said your paper is written professionally and is very straightforward. It's easy to read, broken down by topic in a way that makes it easy to follow. All acronyms are labeled correctly as they're used. Format-wise, there were a few organizational errors, but other than just the content, it was all there. It was all good. Organization, I listed just a few things, and I already emailed it to you. Most of it was just spacing. Just hit an enter, and it'll fix a couple. There were a few things where instead of saying in depth, you should have put like an in dash depth, something like that. And I listed the page numbers, but there's just a few of those. And then APA formatting, I said all citations and visuals follow the APA format and were easy to read and understand in regards to their content. So that's a skip. Ooh,
Yes, thank you for sending this to me.
hey.
I've started adjusting them. Some of the formatting stuff, like I did it on, like usually I do it on, okay, so we got this huge mega virus going through our district's networking right now.
Keep it over there. Keep it
Yeah,
over.
I'm hoping we do, but I was always doing stuff on my school computer, so I've been typing the last few tasks on my Mac, and the formatting gets a little wonky. So what I got to do is upload it to Google Drive, download it as a Word doc, and reformat it. So I just uploaded it straight from my Mac, and the tables and stuff are screwed a little bit up. But yeah, I will get that.
I noticed that on mine sometimes. Like if I worked on it, like if I got to work early and I had everything all set up, I'm like, I'll spend the next 10 minutes working on this, and then I email it to myself at home just to do it, and then I noticed it was totally different. Like all the margins would be off and everything. So I stopped doing that really quickly. But yeah, so I can totally relate. All right, moving on. Cap one.
Okay, cap me.
That's okay.
We're so cornballish.
I love it. All right, the cap is upon you. All right, content. The task is aligned with the content for the cap one. Again, all external resources supported the document. Most of that was just straightforward. Pretty much the exact same as a skip. Rubric strength, I said you did follow the language of the rubric exactly. You broke down the sections into analysis of school climate, needs assessment, complete with background, purpose, and participants, as well as an analysis of the findings and recommendations. You presented hypothetical questions that were thought-provoking and that would flow easily into the task 2 of the CAP moving forward. So even though we only had to do the CAP 1, I could really easily see where you could just pick right up to do the second one. Your weaknesses, again, I could not find any weaknesses anywhere at all. For leadership, again, you led your team, you took the initiative in collecting all the data, you presented it to your administration team, and you planned with all your administration. Mechanics and grammar, again, there was just a few things. I kind of broke it down. First paragraph, last sentence, something got left out, no period here or there. There was only about 4 things, but I already emailed them to you. Organization, I said it was structured in a way that aligned with the prompt, And as an evaluator, it was easy to find the information requested. The tables are visually easy to read, and the narrative was read very clearly. It was not vague at all. APA formatting, I said they're easy to read and understand. I didn't really see anything as far as APA. And even after we're at the end of 603, I'm still not an APA guru. So, but as far as I could tell, it was all good. Done.
Okay.
Yay!
Yay.
All right.
I did
Well,
it fast.
I'll go next. I had the absolute pleasure of reading Miss Blaylock's. I'll start with the skip. Content, information and contents. Oh, I probably should change that. Information and contents aligned with rubric. All required subsections were addressed. Strengths, as always, your writing is very detailed. Through your narrative, you explicitly explain the school, its setting, and purpose of the needs assessment. A very detailed explanation of the analysis of findings. I didn't find any weaknesses. I said, as always, all areas have been addressed. I have no critiques. Great work as always. As far as leadership, you demonstrated leadership by creating a committee. The facilitation of, well, let me try this again because I think I was getting fancy. You demonstrated leadership by creating a committee the facilitation of the analyzation of data, look at me, and creating a needs assessment. No issues with mechanics or grammar. Overall, the organization is well organized. I appreciate the fact that there is a table of contents. And then once again, have you ever thought about linking your table of contents to whoever reads it electronically? And your paper seems to be aligned with APA standards. All sources and references seem to be properly cited. So good job on that one. And then I have the CAPP. Let me cap you. Once again, information and contents aligned with the rubric. All required subsections were addressed. Empowerment/teacher leadership, time, facilities, and resources. The strength, very detailed as usual. You were able to explain in detail your process of analyzing and comparing your school's data with that of the district and state. Additionally, you were able to create a needs-based assessment based on the data that you analyzed. No weaknesses, all areas have been addressed, no critiques, great work as always. Leadership, you demonstrated leadership by analyzing data from various sources, and from that information, you created a needs assessment. No issues with mechanics and grammar. Your paper is well organized and easy to follow. All headings are clearly presented and your evidence is easy to locate. Your appendix seems to be aligned. You know, I'm no APA guru, but it just seems to be aligned with formatting standards. And all sources are cited properly. So good job, Catherine.
Okay. Chris.
All right. Anderson, start with the skip one. Content. Artifact was in fact aligned with the course content for this task in this artifact. The subsections were very clearly addressed. These included background of the setting, purpose of the needs assessment, the SCIP team, listed the SCIP team participants, their roles, and analysis of the SCIP team findings, short and long-term goals of the SCIP team, organizational setting, participants in the data collection process, and recommendations. So you definitely hit all of the criteria for the prompt. Rubric strength. Candidate painted a very good narrative of the school and its setting. It also gave a purpose with specific detail of how parents and community are already involved in the school. It seems like you guys do a really good job of keeping good communication out there, and it's not shoving it down their throat, but hey, here's about 3 or 4 different avenues
right.
you can go to know what's going on, how you can reach our teachers. So you guys seem to advertise that really well. So kudos to your school. And out of curiosity, I mean, this is your first year at this school.
Mm-hmm.
How does it taste? I mean, is it
well, where I come from, it was I worked very hard. It was one of those schools that you gave blood, sweat, and tears. So to hear what some of the people complain about now, and I'm like, really? You complain about that? You should come where I come from.
Yeah.
But you know, I was able to come in first year and become a sit chair.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so just trying to grab the bull by the horns. And I was like, this is for, you know, grad school purposes, but I'm really, really nosy and I really want to know what's really going on the inside. Mm-hmm. But everything's been good. You know, the principal's been very supportive. I'm going on to an observation, I think, to Thursday with her. Okay. Because, you know, it's mid-year observations, but everything seems to be, it's really, really good. And I will say that I absolutely love 6th grade social studies. I was like, I want to do reading. Hey, you know what? I'm learning to choose my battles. I'll take the battle of sixth grade social studies. You know, I don't want to fight those other battles anymore.
What are you guys studying right now? Our guys are studying ancient Egypt.
We finished ancient Egypt. We're on ancient Rome, and we should be finishing that up. They're testing on Friday.
They got these. Have you ever seen those virtual reality things where you put the goggles on and you slide an iPhone in it? Have you ever seen that? There's apps like that, and we bought some for our school, but you can actually go inside the Great Pyramids and that stuff. So
really?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Or people are going to do it, I think, next week just to kind of wrap up ancient Egypt for Christmas time, and then they're going into Rome next.
Oh, that sounds fun. I'm going to have to check that out. We're going into, after Christmas, the Muslim Islamic empires.
Yep.
So I have they're having a little PD on that on Thursday.
Yeah.
And even when we touch on Christianity a little bit, I always say, I'm not trying to convert you. According to the state of North Carolina, I'm supposed to say this. You are free to believe what you want to. So,
I hear
I'm very,
tangent here.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Our ADD is kicking in.
That's okay. Task listed participants in the SCIP team and their roles. Candidate gave a detailed explanation of the analysis of her findings and included the overall perception, communication, how external stakeholders, feel about the school, all the avenues the school uses to communicate with the parents and the families, and surveys from the FRMS from the first quarter, which I think that's really cool that you guys do a survey quarterly. That's very good data. I mean, you can really grow with that. Recommendations were clear and addressed in prompt 2, and the task assessed the strategy of doing the 15-15 to begin implementing, which I think that's a great strategy. It's a snapshot. You can actually you can gather data from that if you align it to high yield practices or anything from the advanced ed Elliott model.
Right, because I always hate when they come in, they just come in, they, click, write whatever they write, and then you never hear anything. You're like, well, did I do good? Did I tell me something?
Feedback is a gift. That's what I've heard from somebody that it is a gift. Rubric weaknesses. At this time, there were no areas that you did not address according to the rubric. So from the prompt, from the rubric, you hit everything. You talked on everything. You painted a narrative of everything. I have nothing to add to that. Leadership. You definitely took leadership and initiative to put together the SCIP team. You also did a good job of picking people from different expertise areas and things like that to kind of get a well-rounded, versatile team. And you shared with the team the leadership of the school, and you provided a narrative for the school's strengths and also weaknesses so that you can kind of grow and move forward from that. Mechanics and grammar, formal language was in fact used. Acronyms were addressed properly. The first grammar was good. There was 1 or 2 areas that you got the email, right?
Yeah, I got it.
All right. So I addressed 1 or 2 areas in there, and it was little minute things to pick up on and try. Organization, very easily organized. I don't think you need to reinvent the wheel for these papers. You just get your subheadings, address the subheadings, move on to the next thing. So it was very easy for me to navigate. APA formatting, references were given, reference pages, all seemed on par with the other work that I reviewed of you. So moving on to the CAPP. So CAPP Task 1, Danielle Anderson. Align with the content required by the prompt. You touched on the school's teacher working condition survey, feedback in the school's areas of empowerment, leadership, facilities, resources, and time. This is done with tables that compared to the district and the state, which is a very nice kind of test the waters a little bit and see where you stand in regards to everything else. Prompt 2 was also organized, the summary from prompt 1 in the table. So you kind of paint your picture in prompt 1, and it linked to the story in prompt 2. And you actually gave bullets that explain where the school should go next. So you gave little pointers of this is what we need to address for this is what we need to address for that. And possibly what I said was just maybe add more of a game plan. Like, yes, you have this idea, but have you guys tossed around anything? What is your opinion on it, or the candidate's opinion for that matter? And that's just me being picky and nosy with your school.
No, I said it. Let me tell you something. I'm a slow writer. That paper got typed in like 2 days. So I was pressured and the stress. I said, it's real drafty. It's very drafty.
Yeah. No, I got that. So I enjoyed reading it and getting the feedback from it. How many people participated in your, because some schools, man, everybody got to get this done. Some are more lax on it. Did you guys?
What do you mean? Say that. I'm sorry. Say that one more time.
How many people did you have? Because if you go to type in your school teacher working conditions survey into Google, it'll take you to the website. It'll say X% of your staff participated in the survey.
I think mine was like, I was surprised because at my other school, like it was like 100%.
Yeah.
Maybe we were just all pissed off. But I think it was like 78, 80% or something like that. And I was like, oh.
Yeah, it's a good. I've seen some schools that have like 46%.
What?
33.
Yeah.
Are you
33.
How much is it?
33.
I mean, you don't get a good read on data. Like if you're a principal,
that's why everything in my paper, I had to go back and resurvey the staff this year because I didn't trust what the teacher working condition survey. I didn't think it was an accurate reflection.
Well,
and see, I guess for me, once the time comes, everybody needs to bring their laptop to the media center. We're having a staff meeting and complete this survey now. And then when you're done, sign off.
I didn't fill it out. I didn't do the teacher working condition survey because I kept waiting because I didn't know that it was out. They didn't.
Right.
Our principal didn't let us know.
She didn't want you to know. That's all it was.
Suddenly, like, because everybody asked, they're like, "Wait, when was that?" I didn't even know. None of us knew to do it.
Right.
So it wasn't really advertised. So the 33% who did do it were probably the people that are up over supposed to do this.
Yeah. If you got a review, let's say you want to, hey, I don't know, I'm dropping Time Warner or Spectrum. I want to get Dish or DirecTV. I don't know which one to get. You go to Google and search for reviews. They're all negative. Why? Because people with an axe to grind are the only people that comment. So same thing.
It's funny you say that. I watched this show called Shameless. I don't know if you all watch that on it's on Netflix because I can't afford Spectrum cable. But anyway, so and Fiona's running this laundromat, and this one lady comes in and gives her a bad review on Yelp about her laundromat, and it just goes downhill. Just one bad review. Mm-hmm. So I understand that. That's crazy.
Yeah, misery loves company. But I guess my point was, if you got 1 out of 3 people commenting, it's most likely the people that are complaining or looking for something negative. And you're not gonna, if you did everything perfect, you're not gonna please them. So that's why I was curious, because you get 100%, that paints a good picture. You get 20%, 40. I mean, that's half your people. It might not be the best picture. So I think Catherine, you did a good job going back and getting some real data to paint a narrative of that. Rubric strength. This was done very well and very simply. I'm a big proponent of less is more. Mm-hmm. Don't make things out more than they have to be. Education can be very simple. This was done very well. A clear description of the climate analysis with data on the table that showed where the middle school stood in regards to the district and the state. So it's very easy to see where you guys lie in the grand scheme of things. Mm-hmm. A needs assessment does in fact address where to go next based on the conclusion from prompt 1 via bulleted ideas. Rubric weaknesses, the areas requested by the rubric were in fact addressed. You touched on everything that was requested. Leadership, same as the last time. You pulled a team together. You had discussions on the data from the teacher working condition survey, and you presented the findings and basically said, these are the areas that we need to grow on, which was done in the table in prompt 2 that you typed up. Mechanics and grammar, seemed fine. I did not come across anything. I did read it. I did not see a reference page. I'll talk about that.
Me. Sometimes I just forget a reference page.
Yeah, what's a reference page? But you had the one. I think I typed it on there. Terry from 1996. Yeah. You cited them in text, and that's dropping down to APA formatting. And you got to cite your teacher working condition survey. Check mine out. You just got to swap out the school district on it.
It was really drafty, Chris.
Yeah, no, it's okay. That's why we have these sessions. And our organization, I jumped down and going back up. Artifact is structured with subheadings that align with the prompts, as well as organize the paper in an easy-to-read fashion for the reader who is reading it. Didn't make it any more difficult than it had to be, and you got to plan on where you got to go next. So.
Oh, well, thank you.
Yes, that was my 2 pennies for that.
All right. Well, anything else, or because I'm gonna stop recording.
Okay.
Great peer review session. Stopping recording now.